Hello, and welcome to this bonus edition of Don't Miss This. I'm your host, Jennifer Garrity. Today we're going to revisit one of my favorite museums, the Picasso Museum, for its temporary exhibit, Picasso Celebration, the collection in a new light. Artist Pablo Picasso died 50 years ago on April 8, 1973. For this anniversary year, the Musée National Picasso Paris invited British designer Sir Paul Smith to be the artistic director of an exhibit showcasing some of the best in the museum's collection. Paul's approach is meant to lend a contemporary lens through which to view this collection. He sometimes alludes to his own passions of fashion and design, sometimes to other contemporary artists with new interpretations of Picasso's work, like the famous Tête du Taureau that Paul Smith himself reimagined. And he sometimes does not much at all. There were things about this curation that I loved, and things that fell short to me. But let's take a look and see what you think. We'll begin with what I loved. My favorite room, for better or worse, comes right at the beginning. This room is titled An Artist in Vogue, and here we learn that Picasso began creating his own satirical magazines at age 12. He would transform fashion photography into caricature, or grotesque imagery, with just a few lines. He would often add a, quote, fantastical, malevolent creature, part devil, part faun, that undermines the poise of the models and destabilizes the entire magazine, end quote. This room set my expectations high. Unfortunately, this combination of new information, artistic direction, and connection to Paul Smith rarely shows up again. The next room is, well, tan. It shows off a little cubism, which we're told Picasso invented in 1906 alongside Georges Braque. The most impressive and imposing piece in the room is this one, set inside a giant wooden box. It's called retablo, or retable, and was created in 2016 by Argentinian artist Guillermo Cuitca, and features a road leading away into a mass of geometric forms. From here, you quickly learn that most rooms will be painted a color that refers to the art in it, typically according to theme, not the images themselves, often with only one or two paintings per wall. We have pink for the Demoiselles d'Avignon, because girls are pink, dark blue for Blue Melancholy, red for bullfighting, green for Le Déjeuner sur l'herbe, and plenty more white, beige, and brown. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's get back to the good bits. This exhibit is huge, with lots and lots of rooms to discover. Like this beautiful room devoted to collage, which Picasso and Braque also invented. In fact, this piece, Nature morte à la chaise canée, or Still Life with Caned Chair, made by Picasso in 1912, is considered the very first collage in the history of art. I couldn't find any information on this cool piece, presumably not by Picasso. The Blue Melancholy room should have been another favorite, since I'm particularly drawn to Picasso's Blue period. And there was a beautiful Picasso I'd never seen before, but it was tucked off to one side of an enormous wall otherwise left blank. I also quite like this self-portrait by Émile Bernard, created in 1897, 4 years before Picasso's Blue period, which may have influenced him. We head then into a room with incredible fun walls that dwarf the sparse art on them, inspired by Picasso's Paul in Harlequin and Paul as Pierrot. Colored tape on either side of the stairs lead us up to a rug designed by Paul Smith for the rug company. At the top of these stairs, we are led into a room featuring biomorphism, with paintings by Picasso, a sculpture by him of Dora Maar, and, happily, a photo montage and photo collage by Dora Maar herself from 1936. We move then into In Times of War, with paintings of distorted human bodies, human skulls, and animalized faces, allegories of the horrors of war. In this room, we also find a piece by Micheline Thomas, created in 2022, titled Resist No. 8, featuring images of civil rights demonstrations alongside those from the Black Lives Matter movement. Picasso's composition, Picture and Skeleton, is embroidered upon it in gold, quote, reminding us of the extreme violence and the context in which the work was created in 1945 is perpetuated through the repression of the various minorities featured, end quote. From here, we bounce back in time again to the years from 1918 to 1923, where Picasso moved past Cubism into a more classic style. After all these neutral rooms, we are thrust into a bold red one, where again the wall colors pull focus from the small black and white pieces. The next few rooms, however, are wonderfully art-directed. First, we have the bestiary, with 2 goat statues, a whole lot of owls, and a wall of goats. This wall of goats was created by André Villiers from 1954 to 1961 by taking a shape that Picasso cut out from light-sensitive paper and immersing it into different chemical baths. Then, a wall of ceramic plates, featuring some of Picasso's experiments in terracotta and ceramic. This was a delight to discover. The next room was bright and graphic, mimicking the stripes in the marinière striped shirt Picasso was known for, and complementing the stripes in the pieces themselves, a motif Picasso loved. Although here too there's usually only one painting on a huge striped wall in a grand, spacious room. Then a quick tribute to trips Picasso took and artifacts that inspired him, a lovely triptych by Obi Okibo that is left unlinked to Picasso, and a few portraits of Picasso by other artists. Here we enter the 1950s, the graphics on the wall echoing the 50-year anniversary of Picasso's passing. This is the first portrait Picasso painted of Jacqueline Roch, his final companion, whom he married in 1961. Now we enter a warm green room dedicated to Le Déjeuner en Herbe, which we discussed in my last Picasso video. And finally, some fashion. Picasso was known for the striped marinière shirt he so often wore, and here we finally come back to his relationship to fashion, with shirts hanging from the ceiling, and this piece by Congolese artist Sherry Samba, who, quote, aims to pay tribute to the African artists whose work inspired Picasso, and to denounce the injustice of not seeing the African continent better represented in the collections of modern and contemporary Western art museums, end quote. The stripes carry on around some of Picasso's final works. The exhibit crescendos in a room filled with posters from hundreds of solo exhibits devoted to Picasso during his lifetime, before ending with the portrait of the artist as a young man. This is a huge exhibit showcasing so many of Picasso's incredible pieces. In my opinion, the artistic direction is choppy, sometimes awe-inspiring, but oftentimes flat. Is it worth visiting for the Paul Smith collaboration? In my opinion, no, but for the pieces you'll see, undoubtedly. Celebration Picasso, la collection Prend des couleurs, will be at the Musée National Picasso Paris through August 27, 2023.